Hello everyone, now let us discuss about the overview of pharma industry and its various departments. In the current session, we will be focusing about the various departments that are employed in the pharma industry and their activities. This is the overall schematic representation of various departments that are employed in the manufacturing of a dosage form. First, we will be discussing about the warehouse. Warehouse is the storage area where all the raw materials, which includes API and all the excipients, and even the finished products, they will be stored for dispatch. So warehouse will be responsible for the procurement of raw materials, storage and dispatch of final products. They will receive the raw materials and after finished product testing by QC, if the final products pass, then they will be sent back to warehouse for dispatch. Coming to the warehouse, once the raw material has been procured, they will first check for the certificate of analysis that has been provided by the respective vendor. It will have the various standards of that particular raw material. After that, they will send those materials in small quantities to sampling, where our team or any pharmaceutical industrial team, they will assess the standards, whether they are correct or not. And once the standards are checked and after confirmation from the QC department of the warehouse, then they will label that particular raw material as approved, and after approval it will be dispensed in bulk quantity to the production area. So the QA department of the warehouse will be responsible for warehouse compliance and cross checks the functions of warehouse, and they will also check the various standards of particular raw materials. Now coming to production area is responsible for manufacturing operations like granulation, compression, coating and packing. And IPQA is the department which is responsible for the in-process checks and cross-checks of the production area. You can also call the QA of warehouse as IPQA. IPQA is responsible for the quality assurance of both production and the warehouse area. Now the quality assurance team. Quality assurance team will be responsible for the compliance and cross-checks the functions of quality control team. The quality control team, they will receive the material, test, perform the testing and conclude whether the materials have passed or failed. So once the materials have been passed, they will be sent for production, and here they will undergo various manufacturing operations like granulation, compression, coating and packing. And after that, this finished product, if it passes the testing by QC, finished products will also be subjected to quality control. And if the final products, if they pass, they will be sent to warehouse for dispatch. So this is the overall process or flow chart of a pharmaceutical industry. Now let us discuss briefly about each department. First one is warehouse. Warehouse is the location where raw materials and excipients are procured and stored. Here the inspection of received materials will be done and stored in design temperatures and RH conditions and made in inventory. And from the warehouse, the received materials will be tested by quality control department, and if the raw materials pass the QC test, then the materials are labeled as approved and they shall be dispensed for the production process, as we have discussed earlier. Now coming to the production area, production process will begin with the procurement of raw materials and excipients from the warehouse, and the materials will be subjected to granulation process, which includes sifting, granulation, drying and blending. And the blended material will be transferred to compression, coating if we are preparing coated tablets, and finally packing process. The completed finished product after packing will be transferred back to warehouse from where it will be dispatched to the market. Now let us discuss about the quality assurance department. The quality assurance is responsible for compliance of overall operations and cross-checks the different departments, where it is subdivided into warehouse QA, QC QA, IP QA, EQA and QMS. Coming to warehouse QA, the warehouse QA is responsible for compliance of warehouse and cross-checks the activities of warehouse personnel. Coming to QC/QA, the QC/QA is responsible for compliance of quality control and cross-checks the activity of QC personnel. Next, coming to in-process quality assurance, ITQA. It is responsible for compliance in production department. It gives clearance activity before production activity and it cross-checks the functions of production department. Coming to engineering quality assurance, EQA is responsible for compliance of engineering related activities and it cross-checks the functions of engineering department. Finally, quality management system, QMS. It will be responsible for the procedural deviations, incident, change control and maintenance and issual of quality documents. The primary function of QMS is maintenance and issual of quality documents and it will cross-check the procedural deviations, change control and any incidents that have been deviated from the standard operating procedure. Apart from the above core departments, there are other cross-functional or supporting departments which support the manufacturing operations. The first is engineering. This department is responsible for equipment maintenance, plant maintenance, utility maintenance, supply of utilities like water for manufacturing, compressed air, nitrogen gas, steam, etc. Next, purchase department. Purchase department will be responsible for the purchase operations of new goods, materials, raising the purchase order, quoting with different vendors for materials, machinery and goods. Human resource department. HR department is responsible for new recruitments, providing the basic requirements to the employees, payroll processings, promotions, health checkups. Administration department is responsible for canteen facilities, bus facilities and other employee needs. Next is project management department. The project management team will be responsible to drive the projects with the third parties. They identify the prerequisites like required machinery, material availability, and they coordinate with all cross-functional departments like production, QC, warehouse, and ensure the timely completion of the project. Now coming to IT department, it will be responsible for GXP related functions, which is nothing but good automated practices, IT restrictions, system controls, desktop support for data handling, access controls, email services, etc. Next is occupational health. This department is responsible for the immediate first aid response and involves in preliminary treatment in case of any injuries and health issues that have been identified among the employees. Next, finally, safety department. It assures that the safety guidelines have been followed during the routine plant activities to prevent the accidents. Apart from those core manufacturing areas, there will be R&D units, which is nothing but research and development units, where there are different departments like formulation development, analytical development, and developmental QA. Coming to formulation development department, this department is responsible for the development of new formulations through new methods, techniques, and also they are responsible for conducting the literature review, trials at lab scale and optimization of the formulation. Coming to analytical development department, the analytical development department is responsible for identifying the different analytical methods to evaluate the formulation and they will come up with the apt analytical method for assessing the formulation. And developmental QA, as the name indicates, it is responsible for the overall review and compliance of the development team. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for further videos on pharmaceutical sciences and other related disciplines.